Hey everyone, this is WP Roundtable, episode 190 a lot, I don't know. My name's Kyle, and I'm excited to be here on this program today with a very special guest, maybe the most specialist of all special guests that I've ever had on this particular program. I'm joined today by Sophia DeRosia. Thank you for joining me, Sophia.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, pal? How you doing?
I'm all right. We got this second round of flu that's been going around. So.
A second round. Wow. Man. It's been tough for a lot of people this year. Some others are like in the third round already. Man, I don't know. When the seasons change, a lot of people get sick.
It's awful. Or allergies. I've had terrible allergies all year.
I know. Yes, me too. Oh, it's been driving me crazy. I've got dry nose all day after the yard work over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's rough.
And you're basically just sick all year round.
I know. Michigan life, Anyway, Sophia is a generally special and amazing person who is talented and just basically master anything that she attempts to do. And I want to talk to her all about that. You're also unemployed. Come on.
Untrue.
Oh, see, you got me.
Yeah. Okay. I work in like a ladies' Bible study childcare thing once a week. So, and babysit on the side, gotta have that side work.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to talk a little bit about that. Before we do, prior to that type of a discussion with any guest, we generally share our quick picks of the week. This is where each of us shares a single thing that we think is worth sharing. What a novel concept. Well, what I want to share is you go first.
I've really been enjoying hallway chats, actually.
Hallway chats. I'm not really show that you were just on the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not really a podcast person, but I found it really interesting how they focused on the relational side of WordPress more, because I feel like that isn't always talked about a lot, but for me is actually really the core of what WordPress is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, they're really nailing that. Liam and Tara have a great show. You should check it out on however you listen to podcasts. Hallway chats. It's good stuff. And I listened to your episode, and it was super cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're such an interesting person. My quick pick is going to be threads.com. Now, this is a new startup, and I'm not generally like that excited about new apps and new services. Like, I'm a late adopter to everything. And anyway, I saw this come up and I was like, bleh, like I am with every other new technology. And then I got a demo of it and I really like it. Threads looks pretty cool. It's a business communication tool that kind of works alongside Slack, better for internally keeping track of discussions and projects and so on. And it seems like it was very well designed for the type of company that I happen to work for. And so we're going to be taking a deeper look at it. And we might be, considering a move towards Threads and as opposed to the custom setup we have right now. So check out threads.com. They're currently in beta. It looks kind of cool. Enough of that stuff. Sophie, this is the point of the show where I usually tell people, that I want to know more about their career journey and how they ended up doing what they're doing now. But we could do that if you'd like and talk about the journey, from start to finish to where you are today, and how you ended up doing this job that you have that you told me about.
Yeah.
Just a moment ago. So we could go way, way back to the very beginning and talk about all the challenges and hurdles that you overcame in the process, what you learned, how you eventually ended up here. Maybe we should do that.
All right. You mean wait, okay. So what do you mean specifically about job?
The employment that you have right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a huge thing. I mean, I want to be a teacher at some point in the future. So it's actually useful to be like the job I have, there's 3 different classrooms all split up by age, and I'm in the preschool room. And so we all like, it's pretty, I mean, it's super laid back. It's basically like Sunday school at church. But I don't know, it's useful to see the different ways that people teach and that people just take care of kids. I've helped out in the 2s and 3s room at my church, which is, I mean, basically preschool age. So,
Sure.
And childcare is always something that I liked. I never thought kids really liked me when I was like younger, but the older I got, the more that like that I got into helping take care of kids. The more I saw that it isn't so much about kids not liking you, it's more about like relationships. Like the kids almost seem like a robot. Like, you know, like you feed them at this time, you put them to bed at this time. Kids like to play with toys.
Okay.
But then as you spend more time with them, you start to see that they're people. They have emotions, they have ideas, they have opinions.
Okay.
So there isn't really a huge journey with that. I mean, the older I got, like when I got to like the babysitting age, I just did it because I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Not everybody does. Like, what's the secret? Like, how do you make kids like you?
You act like a kid.
You act like a kid? Like,
pretty much.
You're gonna have to expand on that. I'm not.
Like you
sure.
need to lose every boundary. Like, be creative. Think of fun ways to do things. Like, if something can be a game, it's got to be a game. And never talk to kids like they're kids. Like, talk to them like they're little people, because they are. So that's something that my parents did with me, or with Emma and I both, when we were growing up, is they never talked down to us. They just talked to us like we were people. And the older we got, like, we were super not literate, but like, you know, we talked like adults, and it was like the cutest thing ever.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So you think you kind of have a knack for that? Because I know a lot of people don't. That's for sure.
I don't know if I have a knack for it, but it's something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like breaking down those boundaries that you may have, like suspending those and being creative and turning everything into a game, no matter how silly it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your style. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't know why it is, but a lot of us struggle with that.
Well, I mean, when I was like 11, that's part of what I liked so much about you, was that you talked to Emma and I like we were adults. Like you treated us just like everyone else, and you were a friend who legitimately wanted to hang out with us, and that was cool.
Cool. Well, that's because you're cool. You're like one of the coolest people that I know. And
I know.
That makes it pretty easy. Anyway, okay. So you got a history in childcare. Yeah, we should touch on briefly, just for the sake of saying that we did. Mm-hmm. That you have like some connection to WordPress or something like that. Let's figure that out.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Just a smidge.
A little bit. You invented it. You invented it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was it.
In diapers and just.
There could be someone watching who's wondering, and they don't know where WordPress came from. It was absolutely. It was from you. Yeah.
So how far back do you want me to go?
Were you alive in 2003?
I was born in 2001. So yes, but I was 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're older than WordPress.
I am.
Wow.
So I've actually seen WordPress go from not really a thing. Like I've seen it grow through each step of my life, and I didn't really notice it. But then like as I'm older, I can like look back and be like, wow, this wasn't even a thing, and now there's like hundreds of WordCamps all over, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. It really has exploded, and I can't think of that many other things that are fair comparisons, which went from just like another app to being like ubiquitous, just like exploding. When I started using it, I was a little younger too, and it's just one of the options out there, and there were many. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this one's kind of cool, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, it's like the only one. It just gobbled everything up, and now WordPress is enormous. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to just grow up with it.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, what were the circumstances that through which you were able to experience it since you were a small child?
So my dad's a tech guy. Not necessarily hardware, but software. So he's always done computer-y things ever since I was little. And I don't know when he got into WordPress actually, but I know that he did eventually when I was a kid, and then eventually he just stuck with it. And so I remember going through startups, and I remember when he was working for himself. I can't think of what that's called. Sorry, I'm tired. I've got a cold. I'm not gonna be able to word very well.
Yeah.
But I just remember all these steps going through different phases, and actually I got this huge inside look into what it's like to own your own business and to have a company, and to build a company with somebody else and be a part of a company. You know, like I've seen all these different aspects and what they do and what they mean, and how they affect other people. Like there were some things that my dad did that our entire family was like involved in.
Wow.
More like just the choices that, like, just how the choices that he made with jobs affected all of us, and never, like, it seems like someone gets a new job, it wouldn't affect everyone, but I knew all my dad's friends. Like, I grew up thinking that these people were like super cool and like famous and like so yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yes, and now it's not even just your dad. Your dad's an OG in the WordPress space, but now it's kind of like a family thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Your dear mother is also actively involved in this space, and
Oh yeah, and
I see
only
her as
getting more
much or
so.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of you are not strangers to the stage at events.
No.
So
Nope.
last summer you gave your first WordCamp talk.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was super impressed and learned a lot. And you're already submitting applications for your next WordCamp talk, which
Yep.
is crazy exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last year you talked a little bit about a BuddyPress project that you did.
I did.
That's exciting. Like BuddyPress projects
Yeah.
are not easy.
You know, they're not. But it's not hard to learn. Or at least it wasn't for me. It was basically here, like, I mean, I had my dad though too. So if I didn't have an answer to something, he would say, like, he would either be able to fix it or be able to say, I've got this friend, like I got a pal in the business.
Sure. That's good.
So yeah, I definitely learned a lot from that whole situation though. And I don't see myself like doing more with BuddyPress. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to build websites, but I learned a lot. Like, a lot goes into building a website for people, like, especially like if you're doing it by yourself, because it isn't just building a website, it's coding and design and human resources and just a lot of different steps, and that are all like you can use all of those different steps in different stages of life.
Sure. Yeah, it's true. There's a reason that when we're building websites, we're often modeling the process after like very traditional project types, like building a house. We're often using analogies.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
It always takes 5 times longer than anybody estimates.
Oh, so much
Costs way
longer.
more, and
the previous WordCamp, the one before I spoke, we were looking for speakers, and I thought, oh, I was thinking of making it was like June, and I was like, oh, I was thinking of making a BuddyPress site. I'll just make it real quick and then do a talk on that. And as I look back on on that, I realized how stupid that thought was, because there was no way I could build a BuddyPress site in a month and make it fully functional.
Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. You don't know how ahead of the curve you are already. Because I had already started my business and was taking paid jobs from clients with that level of inexperience. I was more naive than that, thinking like I could throw this stuff together in no time for these legitimate businesses who needed real websites and were ready to write a check. And I was like that naive, and discovering under fire in those conditions that like, whoa, I'm way wrong. I wasn't just doing it for fun. Like I had contracts to fulfill. And so you're like ahead of the game here. You've already learned how to set more realistic expectations.
Yeah. I tend to jump at opportunities pretty quickly. So something my mom's always had to teach me was to have realistic expectations, and what can actually what can you actually achieve without killing yourself in this process.
Are you an ambitious person?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Well, tell me about your ambition. You've told me about some in the past, but tell me more about like the ambitions. Like, think of an ambitious person as someone who sees themselves like going really far in something specific.
So what do you want first? Do you want an example, or do you want like a where do I see myself in 10 years type of thing?
This isn't a job interview. I just want to have fun with the conversation.
Yeah.
So like, what are the specific things that you really envision yourself going far, like really far with?
Definitely teaching.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to be a teacher at some point. My problem is I don't know what I want to teach. I love languages. I love people specifically. That's what I love so much about teaching, is I like being able to show someone like, here's how you do something. Now go do something with it. And just being able to encourage them and see how they grow and how they learn.
Interesting. Some might say something like that, like this, not me, but others might say how interesting, maybe even ironic, that you aspire to become a teacher after being homeschooled all of your life. That's a little bit, I don't know, surprising in some way.
Yeah.
You would be aspire to be a school teacher. It's like maybe wanting to be the coach of the basketball team if after never having actually played basketball. It's not that you can't, but it is a little surprising.
The thing with that is that I have been coaching basketball for the last 17 years. Like the like with every homeschooler, like usually the older that you get, the less you need parents and teachers for things. Like part of homeschooling is learning how to teach yourself.
Okay.
I want to be a teacher because the school system is completely screwed up. And I am a senior in high school and have just a little bit of school to finish up. And I see all my friends dying, having just about the same amount of school that I had, or doing a lot more than you really have to do to be like to be an educated adult. So I want to be a teacher because I want to help these kids see that it's not that, like, it's not as hard as everyone makes it out to be. And honestly, I've thought about it. I like the idea of actually homeschooling my kids if I ever have kids. Because I hate the school system, but also it seems ironic to be a teacher and then homeschool my, like, it seems weird to not have the kids that I like, not have my kids go to the school that I would teach at.
Sure.
But I don't know.
It's not unheard of. But,
no.
You know, it would raise an eyebrow or two, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've heard you before be critical of the traditional school system today. It's something that it sounds like you would like to try, an area you would like to make a difference in. Do you think the area you could make the most differences is being an actual teacher, knowing that, you know, there are other ways to affect change in the education system? people in the school administration and staff and even in politics and in other areas are affecting the education of the community as often as much as the teachers in the individual classroom. But you believe where you could make the most impact is in front of a classroom of students.
Yeah. I tend to be more relations focused.
Okay.
In pretty much any area. I would die if I had a desk job. Like, I don't.
For what it's worth, a lot of us said that when we were teenagers.
True. But I feel like I would do better showing individual people how to teach themselves. And being someone that kids could reach out to, being someone kids could trust in a world that isn't always trustworthy. Because yes, I want to make a difference in the school system, but also like I care about kids a lot. Like I have this ability to like love someone like at like the snap of your fingers or whatever. So it's really easy for me to love people and invest in them wholeheartedly for even just a short amount of time. It usually kills me after because, you know, I hate leaving people and walking away. But I think that I could not so much change the school system, but change the people in the school system.
Like the students specifically? Like, could you ever see yourself one day like being in school administration and like helping shape the system itself?
I don't know.
That's probably looking pretty far down the road.
It's pretty far, yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to try and look that far ahead.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, I'm not old, but
oh, you're way old.
Yeah. Anyway, like every year that goes by, more and more I stop looking ahead. Like maybe I've like learned something about how it's not very productive. In most cases, it is like better for me to focus on what I can affect in the short term and trust my future self to make the right decisions at that time. Like when the time comes, I'm going to decide what is right. And I know that future me is probably going to know more than current me and have more experiences than current me. I'm not going to make decisions for future me. So I do that less and less as time goes on. Whereas back when I was younger, I was really planning out a whole bunch of my life. I was planning all about what my family would look like and what my career would look like and what I would do with my hobbies and what I would do with my home. And it's just taken a long time to learn and appreciate that it isn't that productive to spend a lot of time doing that. Focus on like what you can do with what you know and have at this time, and trust in your future self to make good decisions. Do you think you're the kind of person who plans too far ahead or not far enough?
Absolutely. I plan way too far ahead.
Interesting.
I have worried about college since 7th grade, probably. Wondered where I would go, what I would do. Tried to decide where I would go and what I would do. And I mean, some of that has helped. Like, there are a lot of seniors who have absolutely no idea what to do next. And I have I have a solid plan.
Yeah.
I had like a 6-year plan like last year, and you know it crumbled. Like the problem with planning ahead so far is that you never know what's going to happen next. So you create this 6-year plan, and then it completely crumbles, and then you just have no idea what to do next.
Yeah. I mean, completely crumbles that's strong language for the plan.
True.
You know, it can be one little thing, and it kind of it topples. I don't know, but
yeah. It depends. Sometimes it's like a tower. Sometimes it's like you pull out the bottom and it falls over and it's just done. Or sometimes it falls over and then it creates a bridge across a chasm, which leads you to the next stop.
Right. Maybe we need another visual here. Like instead of this, instead of a tower, it needs to be like there's a destination on the map that you want to get to. And
Right.
if this bridge is out, we can take an alternate route, but we're still ultimately going in the same direction.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. So you would like to teach.
Yeah.
You don't think like the stuff that your parents are doing, whatever. It's cool, it's fun, but it doesn't appear to have a place for you as far as you can tell at this time. Right?
It could. It's definitely something I could fall back on pretty easily, and I think I'd probably enjoy it. But it isn't, I don't know, it's just not that appealing,
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Although project management is definitely something I enjoy doing. So that might be something I look into in the future.
You enjoy project management.
I do. I like organizing things and telling people what to do.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've never really like tried to do it, except for when I had that site up and I had a ton of high schoolers helping me maintain it, and that was awful. Never ask a high schooler to do something or middle schooler to do something that they're not like super into doing, because they're not going to do it.
Okay. Wise words. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, but even though that experience was challenging, you still think that project management sounds appealing?
Yeah, I do.
Is that typical of you to like have a bad experience with something and then say, I think it's cool?
No, I mean, I don't know. It's not so much that it was a bad experience. It was that it was a struggle at that time in that situation with those people.
Sure.
But I think if it were like an official setting where people were paid to do something and there were a list of jobs that I needed to give each person a job and make sure that they did it, I could do that. I think personally. But I've never I haven't had experience with that yet. So
Sure. The project management role is a very leadership oriented role, one in which it is necessary to kind of take charge, to be accountable, to hold other people accountable and say, hey, you said you would do this. I really need you to do that. Come on, let's go. Do you think like a leadership type role is something like you could naturally take on?
yeah, I think so. It's something I enjoy doing, and I always kind of end up doing it anyway. Like, every month my youth group goes to this like home for like old people, and we do like this kind of like church service thing with testimonies and special music and stuff. And one of the biggest struggles with our group is that it's always super loud. So something that I always do is like shush people, like when it's super loud, or even when it's not that loud, but it's just kind of, it's kind of loud. I always shush people and the whole room goes quiet. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I got that power. It just works. And I was so happy about it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I was the oldest of a lot of siblings, and I ended up in kind of a leader type role. When we had to do activities, it was like me saying, hey guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're going to play soccer. And you guys are on that team, and we're going to, whatever we did, doesn't matter. Anyway, you're the youngest.
Yeah.
Is it, the situations that you're in or the experience that you have that makes you feel comfortable that like you could lead, or do you think it's just like part of your personality?
It's just a part of my personality. We always like my sister and I, we basically grew up at my grandparents' farm, and we had 3 cousins that we all basically grew up together. And all the time we'd get in fights because I would tell somebody to do something, or I would boss somebody around and they would like yell at me or whatever. And so it's just something I always kind of end up doing, which I mean isn't good. Like I need to figure out how to like not be bossy and stuff like that. Whatever. But I feel like if I can harness it, it's actually really useful.
Hmm. Do you know what subject you would like to teach? I mean, you said you didn't, but you think you have an idea? Maybe
I love
top 3?
languages. I kind of want to be an art teacher. That would be really cool. I don't know how exactly I would do that. ESL is a big
Besides
one.
math, what would be like the worst subject to teach?
Math.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate math. But let me think. What would be the worst? Probably anything with tons of memorizing. So like geography.
Geography.
Although I don't know, geography would be pretty cool because you could learn about the places.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That would be fun to teach those particular disciplines. But what if you found yourself doing something else? What if it wasn't teaching? What if teaching just didn't work out? I mean, I've known lots of people who wanted to teach and it just for whatever reason didn't work out.
Yeah.
And you landed somewhere else. What do you think, like the characteristics, maybe not the specific job, what do you think the characteristics of a job that could attract you would be?
It would have to be something that deals with people.
Okay. Good. Example.
Anything dealing with kids is always good.
Sure.
Anything involving writing would definitely be a good one.
Writing. Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. 'Cause, I mean, that can be a bit of an isolating role at times. If you have to, I mean, there's not a lot of writing jobs where you're writing as a group, I guess.
Right. Although maybe fun though.
maybe like writing for a show. You know, you could be on the writing team for some comedy or something. Be in one of those rooms. That sounds fun, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you drawn to things that are more challenging and like beyond your abilities, something that's hard? Are you that kind of person who like just like craves a difficult challenge that is slightly beyond what you can do?
I don't. I usually end up doing those things because of my ambition. I really just see things as opportunities and potentials. And if it looks interesting, I'll say, hey, sure, I can try this. I can learn this in 5 hours. Sure, no problem.
That kind of person. Yeah. Maybe a little bit too optimistic at times.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that is always a flaw. I think sometimes that can be a strength, actually, and is underappreciated. Even though I look back on it as a rather like foolish and naive time, the best education I got and the most growth I ever experienced was when I bit off more than I could chew. I said yes to things I didn't know how to do. It was foolish and risky, and and I probably wouldn't do it today, but looking back, like it was actually really, really good for me because that was where I was pushed to my limit and I grew. And that's good. That's good. Those of us who are a little bit too reserved and pessimistic maybe don't get as many opportunities to push ourselves past our limits.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever I know that you've been to a number of WordPress events, some locally. You've traveled to a few with your family, right? Yeah. How do you feel about like in getting involved or like the vibe and the experience of like being in a big community like that?
I don't know. It's interesting. I like it. It feels like family. Especially having grown up with it. I see all these people and I think of them like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's going to this WordCamp. I get to hang out with them, or, and for me, WordCamp's basically more like a family reunion. I don't go to so many WordCamps anymore because I struggle. Like I don't know what I would learn. I'm not so much a part of the WordPress world, but I'm in the community, and I'm always going to be in the community.
Sure. Yeah, I hear you.
Mhm.
I've gotten to feel that way myself, and to a point, like now, if there wasn't any more WordPress, and I still have a lot of career left to go, that's going to be one of those characteristics that I look for. I want to choose an industry and a profession where I do have this opportunity to like engage with people that I like, a community, because not every industry is like that. That's the thing. There are a whole
Yeah.
lot of industries that don't have that characteristic at all, where the only other people who are in your industry are like your competitors and you don't associate with them. You work against them,
Right.
or just your vendors, and there's no relationship there. I'm not interested in ever for the rest of my career working in an industry where it's like that, because I like what I've got.
Right.
This like collaborative, friendly, we're all friends here. We all help each other out. We all go to the same after parties and whatnot. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's an important part of my career.
Mhm.
So you live in kind of like the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. That's a
Yep.
pretty cool part of the state, a really happening part of the state.
It is.
You guys grew up though on a farm that was like more in the north part of the state, I think, right?
Well, we grew up in town. Like we've always lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
But with Em and I being homeschooled, we could basically like just get up and go, like take school to my grandparents anytime we needed to. So there was one time we spent an entire month there
Wow.
just because. So it kind of, I don't know, it's yeah.
Would it surprise you if you spend the rest of your life in Michigan?
No.
You would not be surprised at all.
No.
Would it
I
surprise
mean,
you if you didn't?
nope.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've always liked the idea of traveling, and moving around places, but I have a lot of like family here, even if they're not like related to me. Like the people that like the friends that I have in Grand Rapids are family, and so I'm always gonna be coming back and seeing like to see them, and so even if I don't like, I like the idea of leaving and I like the idea of staying, so I'll probably do like a mix of both.
Sure. Sure. Do you think a lot of your other friends your age are going to stick around?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, I mean we're to the point where school's almost ending. I have all my senior friends are all going to college somewhere. So I'm at the point where I know who's going to stay and I know who's going to leave, and I'm okay with the people. Like I'm okay with this because I'm close to the people who are going to stay, and I'm still close to the people who are going to leave, but I have a different like relationship with them.
Okay. Yeah. What I want to know a little bit more about the talks. Like you were thinking about getting back on stage. Apparently the last experience wasn't so terrible that
No.
you swore to never do it again. Like you're thinking about ascending the stage once more this
Mhm.
summer at a WordCamp near you. And you've got some ideas for that talk. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were thinking when you came up with this concept?
Um, I had a couple ideas. One of them was I knew I wanted to learn about SEO for my blog. And so one of my ideas was to just learn about SEO and create a talk about how to use SEO. One talk that I have always loved was Andrea Rennick's talk in WordCamp US. I don't remember when. I remember that it was in Philly. I want to say it was 2014. No, it was probably 15 or 16.
That's probably 15.
But she gave a talk about the people in the community.
Okay.
And I feel like so often, I don't know, like to me, WordPress is all about community and friends and family. And I had this idea for a talk that was something like that. At this particular moment, I don't remember what it was about, so it's going to be interesting writing it later. But I know it's going to be something about the people, and yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. I'm excited for it too. I think you've got a cool perspective to share, and it is worth sharing. It is worth being heard. So I'm super excited and really encourage you to pursue it.
Thank you.
You're into music, and that's like the coolest thing. And you're really good. You're really good.
Thank
You
you.
know, like this morning, my Ash got up, my wife, and I don't know, in the living room, and she was scrolling through something, and then she started playing some music, and I was sitting there, and I was like, "This is really good. What are you listening to?" And she's like, "This is Emma and Sophia DeRosia," and I was like, "What?" it was super good. You guys were singing together, and I loved it. And I want to know more about the music that you guys play. I know you play a little at church. What else are you working on musically?
I was thinking of starting a YouTube channel for the summer. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, but I just haven't had time to pursue something that big and that like time consuming.
It seems like the thing to do these days. That
it really is. That's part of the reason I haven't done it already. Is there's so many people doing it. Like, why bother? You know.
I don't really like that attitude, but I can see how you feel that way.
Yeah. I also wasn't sure if it was something I wanted to pursue more deeply. Like, I didn't want to create this whole big new thing that I like put a ton of effort into something and then just throw it away because I didn't like it anymore. So I really, because I've had a lot of situations like with the Buddy Press site, with my blog, like I've had a lot of things where I started doing them and dove into them like head first and then realized that I didn't like them. So for this one, I decided to go like take the little steps and like see if I actually liked it before I like married it, basically.
Yeah, smart. I mean, there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Thank you.
That's like kind of the point of like everything you're doing now, to like try it and see if you like it. Try it and see you like it. Just do that with like everything. There's like hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of things that I've like dove into and tried and made and shared and then left over the years. And you know, probably none of the ones that you try now realistically are going to be like still your thing that you'll be like married to in a long time. But these are like, they're the building blocks. This is the discovery of like what your passions are and where your true talents are. And so it seems like doing something like making a YouTube channel where you are trying to hone a craft and trying to polish something and share something that you care about and see what happens is outstanding. It's kind of exciting that you even have the ability to do that these days. Like the barrier to entry is quite low, and you're quite talented, and so there's definitely a reason for you to document what you've created and to try and give it the best you can and try and share it with people. I don't know. People want to see it and hear it.
Yeah.
I think you should do it. Why not?
I'll probably do it. It's a little hard at the moment. I live in a world, like at church, like there are a lot of talented musicians that I know a lot of talented musicians. And I kind of jumped into the game pretty late. Like I never had piano lessons as a kid, even though my mom said I could. So I almost feel like I don't belong there. Like I'm not as good as everyone else. So then I have this comparison in my head that I'm not as good, so I can't do it. Or like, what's the point in doing it if so-and-so is so much better than me? So it's definitely been a challenge to bring myself to do it. Like I've been playing guitar for 5 years, and just now I had the courage to like post a guitar video. Like that scared me definitely, but I don't know. It's a challenge and it's something I'm trying to work through and get over. And I'm hoping that by creating this YouTube channel, I'll be able to have the freedom to just do it and also have the freedom to not care what people say about it. To not care if they like it or if they don't. So.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot there. I don't know, Sophie.
Yeah.
You've got stuff worth sharing. You've got special talents, and I think that there's people who want to see and hear it. And I think you owe it to yourself to apply the talent that you have in some way, and if anything, working to combat the comparison tendency is going to be a lifelong struggle, and you may as well get started on that effort now.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a time in life where it goes away. It's absolutely everything you try to do, there will be visible people who are better.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not a good reason to not pursue it.
It's not.
Yeah. But you're good. You're good. And you should do that.
Thank you.
I love seeing and hearing the things that you share. Anyway, so you play the guitar. And
I do.
You sing pretty well.
I do.
You writing anything original?
I tried. I'm not a songwriter. I can write guitar tabs, but that's not how I work. I have plenty of other things that I can write and do, and I just have not tried enough. Like, I'm sure, I mean, obviously I could learn how to do it. I don't care.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, what sort of things do you like to play?
You mean like songs or instruments?
Like the music, yeah. The kind of music, yeah.
I like to play everything.
Really? Everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Everything?
Kinda, yeah.
Come on.
I'm trying to think. Anything from like metal to classical. I started learning Swan Lake, which is really pretty on acoustic, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
I learned Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Well, like a little bit of that. Seriously, everything.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a favorite right now?
I love the Oh Hellos. You and I have talked about this quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot, like, I listened to that one album and then I was like, oh shoot, there's so much more music that they do. And so now I'm just like, if I listen to something, it's that basically.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you were the one who introduced me to them, and I've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Are you learning any hard songs right now? Like trying to figure them out?
Swan Lake took me a bit. Trying to think. It depends on how far I want to go into it. Like, tabs are always harder. It really depends. I struggle to see things as like music specifically as hard because I've always just been able to see it and practice it and then eventually do it. So I struggle to see certain things as hard. Some things take me longer to figure out, but I'm at the point where like I know what a lot of the things are, at least in the guitar world. So it doesn't take me too long to figure out what something is or how to Google for what it is.
You're I don't know, how do I ask this question? I want to know a little bit more about like where you get the stuff that you're into. Like where does this come from? Because it seems like there are the popular things that kids are into. And if I were to grab like a 16-year-old off the street and they would be like, whatever, they would tell me the name of an artist that I haven't heard of yet because I'm behind the times. And they would tell me a game that they're playing that I haven't heard of yet. And they would tell me the movie that they're into or the TV show that they like or whatever is in the zeitgeist. And you would say something different.
Absolutely. I have no idea what's popular now. Aside from Fortnite, I know what that is.
I have heard of it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Anyway, you would say something different. and yet you're really into things.
Mhm.
And I don't think you're one of those like pretentious counterculture type people so much as like an individual who pursues their own interests. And I'm just curious, like, where do you find the cool music that you're into, and how do you choose like the shows that you watch and the things that you invest your time in, uh, and how is it different than what a lot of other kids are doing?
Yeah, it's I don't know. The music, most of the music is from my dad. The Oh Hellos I actually heard from a friend who's also super into random music no one's heard of. I don't know. I just live in this world where people don't care about popular things. Like I always kind of think popular things are lame. When I was little, I was like completely against like if this was popular, I was not into it. Like I didn't care.
Mm.
Depending on the thing, I did get into zany bands quite a bit as a kid.
What are zany bins?
Zany bands.
What is that?
They're just little rubber bracelets that are in shapes. And some of them sometimes they're words or like they're like you can get different ones. So I had like peanuts ones and um I had animals and they're not really a thing anymore, which is really sad, but they were super cool and I loved them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen those.
They were really popular for a couple years in the early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, where was I? Apparently not wearing my zany bands, I guess.
Right.
Bummer. I hate it when I miss out on that stuff.
Yeah. I still have a few.
Maybe you could bring them back. I don't know.
Absolutely.
If it was early
See-
2000s, now it's kind of like a retro thing.
Right. Kids used to have them all the way up their arms. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of strange, actually.
It depends.
I don't know. There's probably
It's
been
cute
more
on a
weird
6-year-old, but
Yeah. Well, what are you like? What's the thing that you're into now that you'll probably like in 5 years or whatever be like, oh, back when I was 16, I was into the thing. Anything?
Marvel's huge.
Yeah. Marvel's still going to be huge.
It is. Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
No. I don't think I have anything super huge. You know, I'm really into YouTube at the moment. Just like specific YouTubers.
Really?
Yeah, like Brandon Ferris is hilarious.
Hmm.
I started watching some Juggling the Jenkins, which is actually it's about a mom who she's a comedian sort of. So she does comedy videos, but also she struggles with depression and anxiety, and she's a recovering addict. So some of her videos are funny, and some of them are like realistic. Like this is how you can help someone with anxiety, or this is how I got clean and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're great. It's refreshing. Highly recommended.
That's crazy. Yeah. YouTube channels are like, I don't know, such a new medium for content that is so, it's like what YouTube channels do you subscribe to is like is with a which sitcom or TV show or primetime show do you watch of today? If that makes any sense. Like there was a time where it'd be like, you know, which shows do you watch? And you know, oh well, I tune into Lost or Seinfeld or something, or you know, just don't miss an episode. And now today it's like which YouTube channel,
Right?
And the thing is, there's like way more. Like everyone has their own.
Exactly.
It's kind of, there's something about that I like, where there's like so many more options, and we're not like all into exactly the same thing.
Right.
and there's a high probability of like every person you ask will be subscribed to at least some different combo of channels. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
Mhm.
I don't know where to take that reflection. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Anyway, the next channel that I'm going to subscribe to will be your channel. What do you think is going to be on? When do you think it's going to be on that channel?
I have always wanted to make art videos.
What's an art video?
Just like a video where you show. It's a video where you just create art and there's music in the background.
Like Bob Ross?
No. That's more of a tutorial video. I want to do like it's just a video where you just paint and there's like music that you listen to. My best friend is a musician, and so she writes a lot of music. So she is also going to start a YouTube channel this summer, probably, and we're going to do some collaboration videos. So she'll write music for my drawings, or I'll draw something for her music. And then also I'm going to obviously keep posting more music and stuff.
Is there like post-production that's done on these videos where you're putting the things together, or you're watching it come together more quickly? Or is somebody really, are we just going to watch videos of you paint for 2 hours?
It's not going to be 2 hours. I'll probably do time lapse. I honestly have no idea how to do it. That's part of the reason I haven't done it yet, is because I have no idea how to do it. I just have a phone and a camera stand. So we're going to see how it goes. This is one of my ambitious endeavors. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, well, lots of people could do it. I don't know if maybe set your ambitions higher than that, because I know you'll figure it out in like 5 minutes.
Probably.
And say like, maybe I should have aimed a little higher than learning how to make a time-lapse video.
Honestly, I don't know how to edit video, like at all.
You're gonna learn it in like 5 minutes.
Probably.
Yeah. You're gonna make some cool stuff. But I'm excited. So you're envisioning it being a channel for you to make new art.
Yeah.
And share like create like a visual experience, a visual and auditory experience for the creation of this new art.
Because part of what the music does, this why I want my friend to write some music for it, is for me, the things that I draw and the things that I paint are an expression of an emotion or a story, and then when you put music to it that goes along with that story, it helps you feel it and like immerse yourself into it and really understand why I paint or draw what I do.
So does the music inspire the art, or does the art inspire the music?
It depends. Sometimes both.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really can't wait to see one of these.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Now that you've described it so much, I'm like even more intrigued. Because it actually sounds unique and meaningful and multifaceted. Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Well, please do this right away.
We'll see. I still have to finish school and stuff. Something I'm not good at is like time management. So I'll take all these like things that I'm super ambitious about and then say, oh yeah, I could totally do that. And then now I'm doing 20 things in a day and still trying to finish school, still have a job, still I'm like a part of a family, still, I mean, I'm super social, so I like to hang out with people. So something I'm trying to do this summer is just cut out things. So I'm taking a big break from blogging, and so I just trying to fit as much into the summer as I can, basically.
Smart. See?
Thank you.
That's why I had you on the show, because you're so smart. Doggone it.
I am.
Yeah. Well, our time is winding up here. I want to ask you a couple final questions.
Okay.
What's on your calendar? Like, where might anybody bump into you in person and over the course of the rest of this year? Any ideas?
Not many places. Definitely we're at Camp Grand Rapids. That's gonna happen. I'll probably be at Ann Arbor. Are you doing Jackson this year? Like, is that happening this year?
Yeah, it's in October.
Okay, I'll probably be at Jackson.
Good answer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
Just
right.
basically all the local WordCamps.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. That's where you should be, and that's where you're going to be welcomed with open arms and highly appreciated. Who should I invite on this show in the future?
Sarah Dunn is pretty cool. I don't know if you've had her yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
But she's still cool.
She is, yeah. I can't think of anyone else. Rebecca Gill would be interesting.
She is
She's
very
also
interesting.
pretty cool.
She's
Yeah.
very cool. Yes.
Mhm.
Good suggestions.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love them.
You're welcome.
And way to be supportive of the other people in Michigan, the cool people around here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a high concentration of cool people in this state. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, no, not at all. No.
All right. Well, it's been a good conversation, and I want to wrap up. I'm going to go make some dinner,
Me too.
and you're going to go have dinner,
Yes.
and you're going to get working on some videos. So you're going to start that channel.
Nope. I'm still sick. I'm going to go sleep probably.
No pain, no gain. Rome wasn't built in a day. Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Rome can be built tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going, but anyway, get to it. And I will be your first subscriber. And have a great evening.
Thank you. You as well.